We are live, boys and girls. We must let it breathe just for a few seconds here. Bring on Facebook. Y'all know the drill. We're just reminiscing. I was just telling Zach and Scott the true story of where the term heavy metal came from as it applies to music. And it's very interesting. And it, of course, all stems back to Black Sabbath. But welcome in, everybody. It's the Mile High Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Chad Jensen. With me, my fellow football priest. You know him. You love him. Zack Kelberman. Zach, dude, before we get into today's events, which there's a lot to get to coming out of the Broncos-Niners joint practice, but excited to announce to everybody. We've talked all about this, and we've already had the first episode, Broncos Book Club and all that jazz. But we're stoked because the return of Kelberman's Corner begins next week, gang. Tuesday, noon Mountain, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the hot takes that hold water, returning once again for members only on YouTube, dude. I'm stoked.
Yeah, so am I. For anyone who remembers the old iteration of Kelberman's Corner, that will be returning this week, Tuesday at noon, local time, noon Mountain time, 2 Eastern. The return of the Dragon. Again, an inside joke for anyone who can recall the old KK. I'm super stoked to talk to you guys, and we're going to have a lot of fun on these streams.
And it's going to be Tuesdays at noon Mountain, 2 p.m. Eastern. So the first edition, we're really excited for it coming back this coming Tuesday. It's going to be a gas. And by then, Zach, we will have had a preseason game's worth of material to sink our teeth into. And speaking of material, Broncos, Niners today. Zach, there were some interesting things that came of the practice and whatnot. But what was your biggest takeaway out of what you saw, what you heard?
The Broncos have the best defense in the NFL, Chad. That was affirmed once more. We all thought it was because they were facing Bo Nix. No, this defense is going to be ranked across the board in the NFL this season. And I also thought the Broncos offense responded pretty well on the road against the 49ers, who also have a stout defense as well, Chad. I thought Bo Nix was efficient. Troy Franklin had another breakout performance. And overall, there were more pros than cons of today's joint.
No doubt about it. Very exciting developments, and I want to get to what Kyle Shanahan's reaction to Bo Nix was here in just a moment. But first, we got to get to some hellos, and we don't want to keep the Papa Bear waiting too much longer. David McElrath jumping in, a valued, treasured member and bona fide Mount Rushmore Super Chat superstar with a very generous Super Chat, getting things going tonight, saying, "Good evening, Broncos country, 13-4. Plus. Thank you, Papa Bear. We appreciate you so much, big dog."
Yeah, thank you so much, David. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. Appreciate you tuning in with us, as you always do.
No doubt about it. More to come. We got Sam Bam also checking in on Super Chat. Love you, big dog. Thank you. He says, "Evening, guys. Nice to have some preseason football on TV. Richardson already hurt, LOL. Looking forward to the Broncos game Saturday night. Are there any camp position battles going on to your knowledge? Go Broncos." Yes, indeed, Zach. There are many. Why don't you break it down for our friend?
Well, there's the running back battle, Sam. You have the who's going to be the RB3. Is that going to be Estime? Is that going to be Jaleel McLaughlin? And last couple of days, it seems like Tyler Bidet, Chad, is climbing up the depth chart and staking his claim. So there's that. Also, Sam, on the offensive side of the ball, who's the wide receiver 2 opposite Courtland Sutton? Will that be Marvin Mims? He was listed as the wide receiver 2, Chad, on the initial depth chart. That doesn't mean much, but could it be Pat Bryant by the end of the preseason? Could it be Devon Vele? Could it be Troy Franklin, who we've talked about? Also tight end 2. I mean, we think it's going to be Troutman. It could be Caleb Lohner. On the defensive side, how are the cornerback spots going to shake out? What happens with McMillian? Where does Riley Moss fit in? And Zadeh Barron had a little bit of a tough go today, Chad. How does he fit into the plans, and where does he stack up when it's all said and done in terms of titles? Those are the big ones I'm keeping an eye on, Sam.
It's still going down big time, Sam. Like, it's barely started, to be honest with you. I mean, what are we, 11 practices in officially to training camp, whatever it is. And the preseason games is where things really light up, right? And today, Zach, to your point about Tyler Bidet, Sean Payton was asked about Bidet because, of course, he is garnering attention at practice. And this is what he said about him, quote, "Yeah, he does a lot of things well. He's someone who can play on third down. He is, I would say, a very good receiver at that position. And he's right there in the thick of it as we start evaluating that group of runners who are all competing for a spot or two. So that is, Zach, obviously conspicuous because we know the top two. In fact, I think we know the top three. Jaleel McLaughlin is like as close to a lock as it can be without being like a full-on guarantee. Unless, you know, he goes on this summer preseason to like collapse, which I don't foresee, or gets hurt, God forbid. But Bidet, man, he brings, like, first of all, J.K. Dobbins, when you look at roles and what kind of what they can bring, the different tools to the table. Dobbins can be a short yardage power back type guy, maybe not at the same level as Audric Estime, but what's even more valuable are the guys like Harvey and Bidet, who have that wiggle, that pop, that explosion that can also contribute on third down. So hearing him talk about Bidet on one hand, that's, hey, but for him to say he's a very good receiver at that position, I'm going, wait a minute. We got to keep an eye on this Bidet guy. Like, he was starting to kind of fade into the background a little bit. It was like, okay, the obvious, here we go. Dobbins, Harvey, McLaughlin, Estime. But now I'm not so sure on that fourth one.
Well, you mentioned third down, and I want to go back to a Sean Payton quote from about a month ago or so when he talked about Bidet and he complimented his pass protection skills. And as we know, that's what Javonte Williams, that's the only reason he was so valuable last season, is because he was so good in pass pro. And maybe RJ Harvey's not there yet. Maybe Blake Watson's not there yet. Maybe Jaleel McLaughlin's not there yet. So that, in combination with his running ability, we saw the speed and breakaway ability, and his receiving chops out of the backfield. Yeah, Bidet could make a serious stake to the RB3 title, Chad.
David T jumping in with a super chat. Thank you, David. Very cool suit you got rocking there, dude, like the man in black. Hey, Johnny, why are you wearing all that black, man? You look like you're going to a funeral. Maybe I am. Remember that? Did you ever see the Johnny Cash movie that was Joaquin Phoenix, Zach?
I didn't see it, no.
Dude, legendary, classic, walk the line. It's phenomenal. So, David T, that's what you evoke. You know, I just got to tell you, you look cool as heck in your profile pic. What can I say? He says, though, does David T, hi, guys. Did I hear right that the kicker missed 4 field goals? I was in hospital having paracentesis done. I missed it. Oh, I don't know what that is. Hold on. Paracentesis. What is that? Oh, wow. That's no fun, dude. A medical procedure where fluid is removed from the abdomen. Golly, man. That's no fun. Well, I hope you're feeling better, Zach. What have you heard on that front for David?
Yeah, first of all, David, hope you're doing well and recovering well. Thank you for your contributions and your generosity tonight. Will Lutz did have a tough day at the office in the Bay Area, Chad. I think he missed 3. It might have been 4, but that's the skinny of it. He was not on his game. And I look for Will Lutz to rebound, though, David. He was nails all last season, and I think it was just more of a fluke than anything else.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. And even if there were something to worry about, Sean Payton kind of always has a way about landing on his feet when it comes to the specialist situations. So too early to worry about it. Let's get to a game. If we're seeing 3 or 4 misses, Zach, in a game, then, you know, maybe I'll start getting a little nervous. And by a game, I mean a preseason game. Uh-oh. I don't know what just happened to my boy. He'll be back. Give me a 1-2, guys, if you can. Give me a 1 in the chat if I'm coming through okay. StreamYard's been being so weird lately, dude. 1, Scott? Okay, good. David, dude, thank you again. And I'm so sorry to hear about your situation. I hope that resolves soon for you, buddy, and you get back on your feet. The Ronk checking in. What's going on, big dog? Hope you're doing well. As if you see me glancing up, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on this Colts and Ravens game. He's back. The man, the myth, the legend, Zack Kelberman.
I hate StreamYard, Chad. Did I ever tell you that? I hate StreamYard.
Yeah, it's been instead of a phenomenal tool that we loved and appreciated for years and years, since November of last year, it's been not but a pain in our butt. Anyway, I was just giving the Ronk some props.
Yeah, appreciate seeing you, Ronk, as always. Hope you're having a great night, and you're excited about the Broncos preseason opener on Saturday evening.
This was a big deal that he also brings up. Really unfortunate. Such a shame. LA Chargers offensive tackle. They just paid him. Massive contract. Rashawn Slater goes down with a PCL, patellar tendon, in practice today, done for the C's. And as Mike says here, that's a big loss for the Chargers O-line and for Justin Herbert, Zach. So you hate to see it. I mean, look, against the Chargers, fans are going to go, oh, you know, let's not cry over spilled milk, but it's you feel for guys like that, and it's a bummer.
Yeah, he's a tremendous tackle. He's dealt with some injury problems in the past, and this is a big blow to the Chargers. Obviously, this helps out every other team in the AFC West, but you want to beat teams at their healthiest, at their best, Chad. You don't want to have any excuse, and now they have one after losing Rashawn Slater. Sucks.
Hey, I just want to say what's up to Pete Middleton. Good to see you, buddy. Checking in from Singapore on Facebook. That's really cool. Pearl's talking about, I was in the dentist. I hate dentists. String guy goes, Pearl, did the dentist get to the root of the problem? Haha. I love dad jokes. What can I say? Ralph, what's going on, big dog? There was some talk about Watson, that's Blake Watson, being the best receiver out of the backfield. I mean, we haven't seen much out of him, period, right? Like, we just haven't had a chance outside of a little bit of preseason action last year, Zach, to see really what he can bring to the table. And hopefully we can get more of that starting on Saturday night. But sounds like Baday's giving him more than a run for his money in that respect.
I think you hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago when you said it's just too early. I think it was in response to Sam's question, Chad. We haven't had one preseason game play out. Sorry, my screen just went black again. We haven't had one preseason game play out, and we won't know until the summer kind of gets going, Ralph.
Yes, indeed. I saw we got George Fox also in the house. What's up, brother? Good evening, guys. We can now say that we have football, even if it doesn't count. It feels great. MHH for life, hit the thumbs up. Well, the thing about the preseason is it doesn't count, but it does matter. And for the guys that are locked in, Zach, to jobs and roles, like, it's very minimal impact, and it's more about just staying healthy. But, you know, you got the bottom quarter of the roster that's battling, man, maybe even more than that for a job. And in today's NFL, look, the Broncos have been much more fortunate on the health front, Zach, but in today's NFL, you end up relying on all 53 guys when it's all said and done. So that's what I look forward to. Plus the preseason, right? Like, by this point, Zach, we have been wandering the desert of football, totally starved. And it's like manna from football heaven when these preseason games. I mean, even right now, looking up and seeing Colts, Ravens, like, I'm going, okay, all is right with the world.
Exactly. We're all so happy it's football season, and the Broncos players themselves, George, are happy they get to hit somebody else, an opponent, another team they get to go up against. So we're all happy we get to see him in action, and we have to keep our fingers crossed. The number one objective Saturday night and every preseason game, no injuries.
That's right. Fingers crossed. We got people talking about not being able to see stuff because of Dish, can't afford Dish or whatever. Just some David T saying Tableau is free just for local channels. So there you go. We'll have to remember Tableau. Also, guys, like, it's a little spendy. He's saying I pay $14.99 a month also for streaming on NFL Plus Premium, which is cool. But to my knowledge, it's not live. So you have to go back and watch it. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, David T. But yeah, I'll tell you what I do to ensure I miss nothing, Zach, is I pulled the trigger on NFL Sunday Ticket, not on Dish. I haven't had Dish or Direct TV for years and years. On YouTube TV, you can buy the package for whatever, you know. And right now, if you've never done it, I'm not trying to, this is not an ad, Zach, for NFL Sunday Ticket, but for new time, you know, brand new signups, there are codes, there are things out there right now that are little discounts, so to speak. But that's what I do. And every once in a while, actually, I should say, the only time, Zach, that it's not perfect is preseason. Sometimes we have to get a little creative on preseason.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you guys want to get a little adventurous and hit Google, there's some alternative websites out there that you can find games on. It's maybe not the best quality always, but it's pretty reliable if you search for it. If anyone has a question, though, DM me on Twitter. I'll hook you up.
All right, guys, I want to get to a very interesting story. We'll continue to talk about how some of the news and notes from today, a very spirited, thank you, by the way, for all the ones, guys, a very spirited joint practice session between the Broncos and the Niners. I want to get to it, but I can't keep Phil waiting. Phil, good to see you, big dog. He says StreamYard sucks. Anyway, sounds like the D and offense performed well. Top players today. Bo Nix, I would say, Zach. And that kind of segues into at least one of the things I wanted to talk about. We'll answer some more of those questions, of that question, I should say. But Zach, I thought it was interesting. After practice, Kyle Shanahan, of course, head coach of the Niners, was asked about Bo Nix, and he said, quote, huge fan of him. We loved him coming out of college, and I thought what he did last year was unbelievable. But anytime you've got a quarterback with a big arm who's very mobile, made of the right stuff, extremely tough, I mean, they got a real good one, close quote. Your thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, Bo looked good, as I mentioned earlier. I thought Troy Franklin had a good practice as usual. And Riley Moss, Chad, who's been nails in coverage. You cannot throw on him. He's looking like prime Chris Harris Jr. out there in the slot. He had a good practice today. The defense, except for the red zone period at the end, they were stuffing Brock Purdy and holding him out of the end zone. I thought there was way more good than bad, Phil, and most of the players performed well today.
No doubt about it. Hey, Zach, you know what you should do real quick is pop off and just do like a restart and come back. Restart on the device. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Gene William, what's up, boys? By the way, Riley Moss is the real deal. You talk about ascending players. He's not a second-year guy. He's a third-year guy, but man, he is looking good. Gene, what's up, dude? So what's up, boys? Can't wait for Saturday. I'll listen to this on my way home from work in the morning. Go Broncos. Appreciate that, dude. We always love hearing that. You know, sometimes we're blessed with just the greatest community and audience. People will like jump in. They can't watch it live, but they'll jump in and either leave a message and say, hey, I'll listen later like Gene's doing. Or in some cases, they'll drop a super chat or some stars and then say, like Gene did also, hey, I'm going to listen later. We love hearing that, dude. And the support just means the world to us. You know this, Gene. So thank you, big dog. Really appreciate seeing you. Leroy says, haven't been on in a bit because my wife had surgery. Uh-oh. Hope she's doing all right, big dog. He says, looking forward to Saturday's preseason game. Cross the fingers and pray no one gets seriously hurt. Go Broncos. Buck 'em. That's with a B, YouTube. Buck 'em. Man, thoughts and prayers up for your missus. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope she's quickly back on the mend, my friend. Seriously. But yeah, so far, I mean, the Niners had a couple of guys get dinged in today's joint sesh. Broncos seem to have initially come out of it pretty solid. We heard from Coach Payton that, yeah, it's not a guarantee, but probably you're not going to see Dre Greenlaw on Saturday, which is a bummer, but not really. I would rather, like I said, man, I know you got to worry about the callus factor, right? You want to keep your guys honed in and build up that callus and get them acclimated to the physicality. That includes their body and the subconscious self, right, of the collisions and everything that happens. But at the same time, man, with his recent injury history, and before he even stepped onto a Broncos practice field, injuring a quad, and then 3 days into practice of training camp, injuring a different quad, put him in bubble wrap. We don't need to see him. Wait, I mean, keep him in shape. They will. He'll participate in practice and stuff, but like, you don't need to see him in the preseason games, in my opinion. So yeah, on that front, by the way, again, Leroy, dude, thoughts and prayers, big dog. String guy, score prediction for the season opener, 34-10 Broncos. That sounds pretty solid to me. Zach, what do you think as a score prediction for week 1? Broncos Titans, 34-10 Broncos.
I'm going to just stay super still and talk quieter in hopes that doesn't kick me off again. Yeah, String guy, I talked about this a few weeks ago. This should be a blowout. It shouldn't be close at all. The Broncos have to exert their will. They're a much better team. They're at home facing a rookie quarterback. I'm going to go with where you're leaning. I'm going to say 31-13, something like that.
Proud Zennial, if the NFL Plus is live, and it's a better deal if you buy the annual subscription. I get Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Also, split it with my Vikings fan neighbor to make it cheaper for both of us. Appreciate you being a member. And I think, aren't you? Didn't the Lady D? Weren't you one? She gifted 10 memberships in the chat the other night. And I think Proud Zennial, I saw the comment. You were one of them. That's so cool, man. But I have used NFL Plus. It's had a few different iterations of what they called it. I've had a subscription, Zach, for however long it's existed, dude. Mainly because my guys, myself early on, and then mostly my guys would need it for all 22, doing film content and breakdowns. But last time I tried to use my subscription for like a preseason game, because I don't need it in the season. I've got, network broadcasting, Zach, and then, like I said, I do the NFL Sunday Ticket. I couldn't I could listen live in the preseason. I couldn't watch it live. So I don't know. Maybe I need to look back at that.
I got to be honest, Sennial, I can't keep up with all the streaming services and everything that you have to do. I mean, ESPN just bought Red Zone, and their WWE pay-per-views are going on there. It's getting to be where we need to go back to cable, point blank, period.
But Stream Guy says you can get it live on NFL Plus if you use a VPN, which it's like, well, why do you have to have a VPN for that? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, Robert Otteson, a member in the house. What's up, bro? Nice to see you guys. Love from Nevada, in the heart of haters country. Go Broncos. No doubt you are now. Didn't used to be, but now you are. Faux show. Shiloh, what's good, big dog? Great to see you. Which back end roster player are you looking for on Saturday? Well, I mean, not to grab the low-hanging fruit here, Zach, but we were just talking about the running back competition, and I'm really curious to see how Bidet and Watson, I mean, also Estime and McLaughlin, I mean, all of the running backs. I'm really curious to see how they look. And by the way, the running game today against an outside opponent it's looking like it's on the right track. They're using a lot more of that outside zone, which has demands certain kind of players. If you're going to run outside zone, you got to have the right backs for that. But also at wide receiver, Zach, I want to see, Joaquin Davis, if he can continue the momentum. And there's a lot of guys on the back end of this roster that are very interesting. Not necessarily like the last two or three guys, but like even Lavelle Bailey, a couple of those undrafted inside linebackers, Zach, like Kareem Reed and what's his name, JB Brown. I'm curious to see. How about you?
Courtney Jackson, the other receiver who's been looking good in training camp. I also want to see Sam Ellinger. I'm pretty sure he'll make the 53 or, the emergency third quarterback. But Shiloh, Sean Payton's talked about him, the new QB they picked up from Indianapolis. He had a big touchdown pass today to close practice out against the Niners. So I want to see how he performs. And also Caleb Lohner. I mean, is he going to be developmental?
Yeah.
Is he going to be on the 53? I want to see how he does in a live action situation, Chad.
That's a great one, Caleb Lohner. Just when you start kind of getting excited about the things you're seeing and hearing, you get shot down with either something Peyton says or he blows a block or something like that. And, you expect that for a guy who's so raw and inexperienced, but he's such a physically gifted freakazoid athlete for his size, man. Like, sky's the limit if they can whip him into shape. But Robert Otteson with the super chat, you heard it here first. 11-6 next year, dude. I hope so, man. From your lips to the football god's ears. Zach, I thought it was interesting also today after practice, Bo Nix was asked about, Sean Payton talking about, this is one of the 7 teams I've coached where I legitimately, before the season started, believed we were Super Bowl worthy. And of course, then the hype about, which we can get into what his response was, but Sean Payton saying, hey, he's going to be a top 4 or 5 guy in the next 2 years, and he's going to be a superstar and all that stuff. So today, for the first time after practice, we got to hear from Bo on those subjects and on the topic of, all the Super Bowl talk that's been going on the last week or so. He kind of made a joke and said, well, is that your goal, Bo? And he's like, well, it should be your goal too. We should all be wanting to go win a Super Bowl. If we're not trying to win a Super Bowl, why are we here? And then he goes on to talk about how this is a team that there's a reason. It's a lot of work. It's not easy to win a Super Bowl, but it's not a term that's just being thrown about, Zach, willy-nilly Super Bowl. Like the guys understand that it's a big deal, obviously, and that they're throwing it out there because they believe it.
Well, it's not so crazy. You have national outlets, the same ones that derided the Broncos last year, are now getting on the Broncos bandwagon. Pro Football Talk, ESPN, USA Today. I tweeted about this earlier, Chad. Last year at this time, they predicted a 4-13 record and a last place finish in the AFC West. 1 year later, it came out yesterday, they predicted a 12-5 record and the Broncos to win the AFC West. So you can't ignore it. The Broncos are on the uprising now, and I think it's going to be their division for the taking very, very soon, Chad.
No doubt about it. Thank you, Robert. Really appreciate you, big dog. We got another injury update from the Ronk. Houston Texans safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Do you remember the rumors? He almost came to Denver a couple of years ago. Could miss the season with a torn ACL. He's getting more tests to confirm it. Yeah, you hate seeing that crap in training camp in the preseason. You know, it's just it hurts your heart, hurts your gut. I mean, at least it does for me.
Yeah, it sucks. It's the only bad thing about football season starting, Chad, are the injuries that are inevitably to occur.
Scott says it wasn't torn. Multiple reports. He avoided the tear, for what it's worth. So that's good news. That's good news. All right, Zach, on the subject of where are we at? Where are we at time-wise? Let me look at this. We're doing great on time. On the subject of his head coach saying, hey, my guy's going to be a top 4 or 5 guy in the next 2 years, and he's going to be a superstar. Here's what Bo Nix said today, quote, "First, it's good to have a coach that believes in you, but it's also, if he believes that, I know I have a lot of work to do to get there. I don't want to let that word go void," which I'm not sure exactly what he means, but we get at least the general takeaway there. "I want to give my best shot at going out there and doing that. Not just obviously for him, for our team, for this organization, but for myself. We put a lot of hard work into this each and every day, and it's a battle and a grind. We just want to see the fruits of our labor. So I think that's obviously our goal. We talk about Super Bowls, talk about winning culture. That helps a lot in being the best that I can be." So, in other words, close quote, holding himself to that standard. But still, if I'm Bo Nix, man, it's blowing my mind. If that head coach of all my coaches, that guy is the one, Sean Payton, saying I'm going to be a superstar. I mean, it's basically saying he's already a superstar. Y'all just don't know it yet. Like, get ready.
And I don't think Sean Payton would make those comments and put those expectations on Bo Nix, top 5 quarterback, Super Bowl, if he didn't think he can handle that. So that's noteworthy in itself.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Yeah, so stoked. By the way, Bo Nix today looking really good. Also with some off-platform stuff, pocket breaking down a little bit, guys covered, moving around, throwing on the run. There was one particular throw he made today, Zach, that wowed everybody across his body, dart on the run to Devon Vele. So Bo Nix, man, he's looking good. And Sean Payton did confirm, I'm going to play the starters on Saturday, but the question is how much. I recall, like we were talking about this, I think Thursday, Zach, but in the preseason opener last year, Jarrett Stidham was the QB1, and he got two series before he was pulled for Bo Nix. Now, I don't know if that's, Zach, because, he didn't want to risk him too much in the starter, so he pulled him, or if it was because there wasn't much doing. He wasn't able to put points on the board for what it's worth, or I should say touchdowns anyway, or if it was just simply Sean Payton wanting to get as quickly to Bo Nix on the field because he was the QB2 that day. I don't know, but I would expect to see Bo Nix probably a minimum of 1 possession, upwards of maybe 3. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 1 to 2 max would be the limit for Bo. And in terms of the joint practice, he was sharp, but he also missed a wide open touchdown and on a swing pass to either Dobbins or Harvey. I can't remember. So there's still work to be done, but you want the mistakes to come out now. You want Bo Nix to throw picks now, as he did in practice a couple days ago, because it will make him better weeks from now. So I think he'll get a little bit of action just to get the chemistry down and shake the rust off from live action, but yank him out after that, Chad, and put him in bubble wrap.
Mike, to become a member, here, I'll hurry and grab the link. If you just go to our YouTube channel, there's the little button that shows if you're subscribed or not. And in your case, you should show Mike that you're subscribed. But there will also be an option that'll say become a member, or join, actually is what it says. It says join, and you can either do it that way, or you can hit this link I'm about to paste in the chat right now for anyone who wants to become a member on YouTube and join us on what we're doing here. We got Kelberman's Corner coming up every Tuesday at noon Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's starting this coming Tuesday. I'll be doing the second episode of Broncos Book Club, which, if you guys recall, again, the OGs will remember this. Both these shows, Zach and I used to do for our Facebook members. We, when we're still big on Facebook, don't get me wrong, but that was before Facebook started doing some things algorithmically that made it very unfavorable for us. So we said laters, and we started focusing our attention more on YouTube, which is why you've seen it. I mean, we're over, I don't know, we're close to 35K on subscribers, but Broncos Book Club was one of those shows. Kelberman's Corner was one of those shows, and we're bringing it back, but for our YouTube members. And second chapter of The Elway Years by Mike Kliss is what we're on this week for Broncos Book Club, which is going to be every Saturday, 4 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Eastern. So find that link, big dog, and join us over there. Plus more stuff to come. A lot more stuff for the members on YouTube.
Yeah, can't wait to see you there, Mike. Appreciate it.
Most definitely. Ronk, Cortland Sutton, and Marvin Mims, Troy Frank, Devon Valley, Trevor, 5 will get a jersey as the 5 receivers who will get a jersey on game day. Meaning like they'll dress. Yeah, probably right, brother. He also says third stringer Sam Ehlinger had a 52-yard touchdown pass to the undrafted wideout rookie Kyrese Rowan. Yeah, dude, like, what do you think of Ehlinger? You had that article the other day, Zach, writing up what Sean Payton had to say about him, who he kind of maybe not gushed, but had some pretty strong praise for him. He never impressed me at all in Indy. I mean, other than being thrown into some pretty crappy situations and kind of doing his best to make the most of it. In terms of, like, I don't know. We'll see. Sean Payton, though, has made some chicken salad with chicken you-know-what.
Yeah, I mean, for Sean Payton, it would qualify as praise, and I think that Ehlinger now is the new Zach Wilson. He can comfortably be the quarterback 3. He's Sean Payton's little pet project. He has arm talent. He has physical talent. But what's eluded him, Chad, is between the eyeballs. He had 3 starts with the Colts. He lost all 3, and he got down on himself, and Sean Payton brought him aboard to try to build him back up. But he's been making plays in camp, and for a third-string quarterback, could do a lot worse.
Phil, I'm so jealous watching the Ravens running game. If only we could get that. Man, they've been working hard to improve that aspect, guys, and it looked pretty good against a stiff Niners defense today. The Niners, as a caveat, they have had a lot of injuries, Zach, on their defensive line, so keep that in mind. But I like the direction this thing is trending. Even if, Zach, they had not made those personnel upgrades in the form of Dobbins and Harvey, I would still be optimistic that the run game could take a step forward, because it's not Javonte in the starting lineup right now. Everybody's healthy, and I'm really intrigued and hopeful in this new kind of outside zone addition to what Sean Payton traditionally likes to do with regard to the running game.
It quite literally cannot get any worse than what it was last season, Phil. So with the addition of Dobbins and Harvey, it might not be Derrick Henry and company, but you're going to see quite the improvement.
You got the Elway books? Sick, dude. Okay, so it's real simple, and then I'll get off this. I won't bring up Broncos Book Club again. But read through the first 2 chapters, and then when you're in the room with me on Saturday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, we're just going to share our takeaways and our thoughts and like what we found to be interesting. It's like being in an actual book club, only we're doing it over the internet. So I want to hear from everybody else on that front. Trust. And here's Mike coming through in the clutch as a member while we're live right here. Bada bing, bada bang. Legend, dude. Thank you, Mike. Really, really appreciate you, big dog. It means a lot to us.
We will see you there for the special streams, Mike. Thank you.
No doubt about it. Okay, so let's grab this also from Ronk, who bringing up some interesting topics tonight. Andrew Mason of Denver Sports thinks rookie receiver Pat Bryant could not get a jersey on game day because of Sherfield. What do you think, Zach?
It's wild. I get Sherfield is good on special teams, but Bryant could be the future of the Broncos receiving core. If not a wide receiver 1, then definitely a wide receiver 2. There's just too much talent, Chad, and he's looked too good in camp, too good in OTAs to make him inactive for a guy who's made a career on the third side of the ball primarily.
Yeah, I doubt it. We'll see, though. I mean, if the offense, if these receivers, man, are stepping up, it's going to be hard to decide who gets to dress on game day. He'll definitely be on the roster, but he's a third-round pick. I doubt it. I think they'll go light elsewhere, but you never know. Thank you, Mike, again, big dog. Really appreciate you, brother. I get what Mason's trying to say, Zach, that it's going to be some hard decisions on the who dresses front, right? Because what is it? 46 can dress of the 53. So you've got the inactives each and every week, and we're always reporting on it, right? At MHH, you'll see those articles from us. As soon as it comes out on game day, we'll report who's not dressing. Maybe there will be some games that he might not dress, or who knows? But I don't know. At the same time, Zach, got to take it with a little bit of seriousness because Mace has been there for every single practice.
Yeah, but would I rather activate a 7th-round pick who missed part of the preseason or part of the offseason with an undisclosed issue? Or would I rather have the 3rd-round pick who's looked good from day one, establishing the connection with my quarterback? I would rather deactivate Vele than Pat Bryant. Might be a hot take, but that's my opinion.
I just want to, I want to see how that battle takes shape a little bit more before we start predicting stuff like that. Bryant right now, all he really has is his pedigree and what he's shown in practice, but he's going to have to convert that on the game field when the preseason rolls around, which is in only a couple days, guys. And by the way, in case you missed it Thursday night, yes, we are doing the gut reaction immediately following the game. Now that we have games back in full effect, guys, just know, like, it's a matter of course. You never have to ask, Chad, Zach, are you going live after the game? Like, that's just the sky is blue, gut reaction, post game. Unless there are situations where one of us can't make it. I'm sick, whatever, Zach's sick. Those might happen once in a blue moon, but we're still going to be going live immediately. Chase, appreciate you being a member, big dog. And he says, sounds like Franklin's really stacking good days. He is, man. He's got people excited, including me. Zach, he looks like, of all those year 2 guys, like, he might be the guy poised to take the biggest step besides Bo Nix.
You see the connection starting to materialize. We thought it would be instant when the Broncos drafted Franklin to pair with Bo Nix, them being former college teammates. The connection was off all season, though. It started to get going in the Buffalo game, and you saw it all offseason. The reports, Franklin has been tremendous, and I think it's only a matter of time, Chad, before he's atop the depth chart in some capacity.
Yes, indeed. Phil says, are you creating a knitting club also? I can do a double stitch. Hey, man, my wife can knit. She's trained on those things, and it's no joke. But no doubt about it, Phil. Broncos Book Club is utter nerdery. It's football Bronco nerdery, but I love to read. I'm a huge reader, always have been. And my college professor told me readers are leaders, and that always stuck. But that's not why I read. I've been a sick, compulsive reader since I was 14, which is interesting, Zach, because really quick, I used to hate to read. I used to hate it because it felt I was always made to read, right, in school. So if I was made to do something, you can pretty much count on I hated it. And then I had a friend who everywhere we went, we'd be skateboarding or we'd be playing pickup basketball. This is before we could drive. Our parents would be taking us everywhere. We'd walk or ride our bikes or skateboard, whatever. And he always had a paperback book in his pocket to where, like, if we stopped for 30 seconds, you'd see him sit on the curb and he'd be reading. And we'd always break his cojones over it. And then one day he's like, yo, dude, you should read this. And he was reading like fantasy stuff. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to read it. I got better things to do, blah, blah, blah. And he made a bet that if I started the first book of whatever series he was reading, if I didn't get to the second book and want to keep reading, it was $50. And so I took him up on it. I had to, man. All the friends were, it was like pressure situation. I was clowning on him, so I had to take him up. And by the end of that book, I was like totally into it. And that began a full-on love affair with reading and books, including, of course, nonfiction. So I love it, dude. Zach, I don't know how much of a reader you are, but one of my treasured gifts was a book that you got me for Christmas about one of our favorite shared shows, The Sopranos.
Yeah, I'm not a big reader myself. I like Audiobooks, if I can listen to something, Chad, I retain that better, but to each their own.
Yeah, I'm I'm the exact opposite. I mean, it's not that I won't retain audiobooks or podcasts, but if I read it, it sears more into the old memory. David T jumping in again. Thank you, pal. Says, I'm really wanting to watch J.K. Dobbins. I saw what he can do as a Charger. If he's good, Denver will be hard to stop. Your thoughts? I agree 100%. And it's not a matter of will he be good. J.K. Dobbins has proven in his short NFL career. I mean, he's a year 6 guy, but he's young for a year 6 guy. But he's proven when he's on the field, he's a force to be reckoned with. I mean, since he entered the league in 2020, only one running back has a higher yards per carry average than he does. He's well over 5 for his career. He's like 5.2, 5.3, whatever it is. Only one running back has been better. His problem is just, can he stay on the field? And so the Broncos, you know, they got to be smart with, he's one of those guys, Zach, where do you really need to expose him to the preseason slug? I don't think so. Like maybe a little bit, but not too much. Don't go too crazy.
Didn't we add it up a few pods ago, or you did, Chad, where Dobbins had more yards last season on his own than all the Broncos running backs combined?
More touchdowns.
Touchdowns, okay. Still, the same point remains, is that's how bad the backfield was. So just having Dobbins for any capacity, even if he doesn't last all 17 games, it's a giant upgrade in the backfield.
We got Taylor jumping in. And again, David, thank you, man. 2 super chats tonight. Rock star. Taylor wants to know, a great member and a bona fide Mount Rushmore super chat superstar, Zach. Would you trade for Micah Parsons? You did want him, he says.
I did in 2021 before they drafted PS2, and he's a tremendous player. I didn't think the baggage would hold him down, and I was correct about that. But they have Nick Bonito now. You pay Jonathan Cooper. You have Jonah Ellis. You have Dondre Tillman. You have Q Robinson. He would want a massive quarterback-like deal, Chad, like $40 million a year or whatever, $30 million a year. It would be prohibitive for the Broncos salary cap. So keep your draft picks, pay Nick Bonito, and go on with your current players.
If you weren't already operating from a position of strength relative to the position he plays, might be a different story, but you've got a burgeoning all-pro. You've got another guy opposite of him who's already a double-digit sack artist and a real leader. In the case of Cooper, he's already gotten a second contract. Benito's like this close from getting his. And then the 2 guys that you had in relief of them last year combined for 10 sacks. And by the way, you wanted to talk about people who stood out today. Dondre Tillman, backup rush linebacker, was one of them. Like, you just don't need him. He's a great name. He's a great player. You don't need him in Denver. And Zach, yeah, I get it. Like, hey, Bo Nix is on the cost control for 4 more years. You know, you load up, etc., make a run while he's relatively cheap, but be smart about where those resources are going. Not only, as you mentioned, he wants that new deal that's going to be tectonic, massive blockbuster deal, but plus, I mean, he's not chopped liver. You know what it would cost to get for the Cowboys to be like, yeah, we'll give him to you. Like, after what this team's been through in the last 4 years preceding last year and this year, like what we went through with the no first round picks, the no second round picks, I'm over that, dude. You know, I'm over that. So that's my take on Micah Parsons, who is, again, a phenomenal player.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, did you guys enjoy drafting Bo Nix? Did you guys enjoy drafting Zadeh Barron? Well, that couldn't have been a possibility if you keep making these blockbuster deals. So if I'm the Cowboys, if I'm Jerry Jones, I am paying Micah Parsons. If I'm the Broncos, I am paying Nick Bonito.
Hey, Mr. Producer has a message about what it would take for Jerry to pick up the phone on Parsons. Do the thing, Scott. Do it. Come on, just do it.
2 first-round picks to pick up the phone, plus $40 million a year. Not when you set a team record of 65 sacks and have about 7 guys with 10-plus sacks. No to Micah Parsons. If you're going to get a $40 million player, go get a wide receiver.
Boom. There you have it. A Scott bomb, okay? That might happen every once in a while, guys. You got to stay on your toes. You might get a Scott bomb from us while we're live. So no offense to you, of course, Taylor. Again, he's a great player. It's just not it just doesn't make sense. Thompson, again, brother, love you. Who's your favorite current and all-time non-Bronco? That's a really good question. Favorite current non-Bronco that's currently playing? Patrick Mahomes. Just kidding. Did you see me? I winked. I don't know. I'd have to think about that, Zach. I could tell you all time, but current, what do you got for Mike?
I really like what the Bengals have in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I think Burrow doesn't get enough credit, even though most consider him a top 3 quarterback, Chad. I think he has future Hall of Fame level talent. Jamar Chase, when you watch him play, you see another Canton-bound superstar. I really like explosive players and players that are truly elite. So I like what they have out there in Cincy.
All time, it would probably be Bo Jackson, honestly, or even Barry Sanders. And, back in the day, man, I loved those guys. I was always a Broncos kid, but I collected their cards. I collected a lot of football cards when I was a kid, like probably a lot of you did, and some probably still do. And I loved Bo Jackson, and it was always a bummer what happened to him with that hip. I'd probably say, Mike, I don't give this a lot of thought. So if you ask me this tomorrow, it could be an entirely different answer, but Saquon Barkley's up there for me on current guys that I just love watching him play.
There's so many amazing current players, Mike. It's a good question. Maybe we'll ponder that some more and get back to you.
No doubt. Lamar Jackson, I love watching him play, but interesting question, Mr. New Member. Thank you, Mike. Much love and respect, big dog. Pearl says, I am 3rd generation from a printing family. My dad and granddad were printers. We're talking about being big readers. And so she says, I many years ago worked for the printing company. And she says also that she's a big reader. I think that's awesome. And I'm a little bit jelly of that. I'm a little bit jealous that you grew up in a printing family. That's really cool. Rock, Ashton Genty has signed his rookie deal. I think they're playing tonight, aren't they? The Raiders? I'm going to check it out. 1 second. I'm pretty sure. Stand by. Yeah. Accept. Okay. Yeah, tonight, 10 Eastern. So in an hour or so. Zach, you good?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it froze for a second there. But let me see one more time. For what it's worth, this is Mr. Producer's answer to Mike. Favorite current guy, Myles Garrett. Favorite all-time guy, Tony Dorsett, who was also very temporarily a Bronco. Let's not forget his last year in the league, he was a Bronco. So for what it's worth, Tony Dorsett, though, legend.
How about Broncos legend Jerry Rice?
True. You know what, though? To this day, I'm sorry. Like, I can appreciate how good those Niners were, and I've read like 3 books on Bill Walsh. I still can't get over that 55-10 Super Bowl. Like, I hate, in the same way that you guys right now hate the Chiefs, or maybe hated the Tom Brady and Belichick Patriots. That's how I felt about that era's Niners. I mean, it was holy envy, but I hated them. Mike wants to know, Zach, what would you trade for Sauce Gardner?
I had to do a double take.
He's trying to trigger you.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade anything. The Broncos have the best corner in the NFL, and I don't care what anybody says. Sauce he's not even the second best. Derek Stingley is. So that's the Jets' problem.
Rock getting his Greenlaw on. Got a Summit Orange Broncos Dre Greenlaw jersey today. Really cool. Congrats on that front, big dog. Byron Lewis checking in. And by the way, guys, we're approaching the 50-minute mark. So consider this kind of your 2-minute warning. Any burning questions or topics, supers, get them in the chat. But Byron says, I know it's early, but I'm concerned about Barron getting beat and Lutz shanking kicks. So Byron, in case you missed it earlier, we were also asked about the Lutz thing. And is it a concern? Yeah, it's a concern. Am I rocking back and forth in the corner, sucking my thumb, freaking out over it? No. Let's wait to see how it plays out in preseason. But he's been a very reliable kicker thus far for the Broncos in two seasons with the team. Barron, hey, man, he's just paying his dues. And we got to remember that the coaching staff, one thing they talk about with Barron is he learns very quickly. And so whatever lessons he got today from getting beat, which he did get beat today more than once, he'll internalize that, learn from it, and be better for it. But you got to remember, cornerbacks, man, it's really hard for those guys, Zach, to bat 1,000. It's impossible. Even Surtain can't bat 1,000, right? Like, he gave up some stuff last year. It's going to happen. Champ Bailey, same thing. Like, they're going to get theirs at times. And the question for young corners especially, but corners period, but especially young guys, Zach, is short-term memory. Like, you cannot hold on to that. If you just got beat, you got to memory hold that till it's time to study the film, because right now the next snap's coming and you don't want to get beat because you're thinking about yesterday and boom, some guy runs by you. So it's a concern on Lutz. I'm not worried one bit about either issue, but like Barron, that's par for the course, Byron. You know, he's a rookie after all.
Byron, the first part of your sentence answered the second part of your sentence. It's so early, and this is why training camp exists. This is why you have joint practice, to get the mistakes out of the way. And Chad's right about Barron. It's a really tough position to play, but also he came back later in the practice with a big pass breakup. So give him time, be patient.
Before we grab Ronk, I got to grab this from one of my life mentors and a man who I love dearly. OGs will know this man as Doc Bear. I call him Sensei, and he's like a father figure, mentor. He was old school back in the day, like going way back now, 20 years-ish, Mile High report guy that said adios and went and started his own site, which was the most legendary Broncos site of all time, called It's All Over Fat Man. And, of course, his pen name is Doc Bear. But many of my football books, my collection, come from this man right here. And he's jumping in to say, big lifelong reader. Not a huge Phil Simms fan, neither am I. I think about that 86 Super Bowl. But he says, I loved his Sunday morning quarterback. Best player I watched on defense, Dick Butkus. Unreal player on offense, Gale Sayers. Going way back, Zach. So always a pleasure to see you. And being in the stream, Doc. Hope you're doing well, big dog. Love you.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. And two great shouts there in Butkus and Gale. So there's so many players to choose from. That's why that question is so difficult to answer.
All right, guys, we got a few messages for you, and then we're going to dip on out of here. We'll take one more peek at the chat, though, so don't leave.
Another tremendous episode, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at the MHH Pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle, Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single podcast, check out MHHmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. You can find us on Instagram at Mile_High_Huddle. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your Football Priest a 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, very important as always, that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
A mile high salute and a special shout out to the great Super Chat superstars, supporters, members, helping us keep the lights on tonight. Like the Papa Bear, David McElrath, right out of the gates before we even went live. Sam Bam, David T, multiple supers. The Ronk throwing down. Ralph, George Fox, Tucson Phil, not a big reader, but a big-time personality who we love. Shiloh, Robert Otteson, a member as well, and a superstar. Mike Thompson, signing up, becoming a member, and throwing down supers. Love you, big dog. Taylor Christensen, also a member and a Super Chat superstar. Big on the Micah Parsons thing. This isn't the first time he was curious about our take on that. Byron Lewis, thank you, buddy. And much love and respect, guys. We'd be signing off saying, hey, we'll see you on Sunday. But while, yes, we will see you on Sunday, the next time Zach and I will see you is Saturday night, immediately following the game. We'll be going live. James E., the Doc JC, another superstar, jumping in at the 11th hour, throwing down a super. Thank you, buddy. Great to see you. If you have any burning questions, now's the time to get it in because we're about to sign off, but better late than never. And thank you very much for that super chat, big dog. But yes, Zach and I will be going live immediately following Broncos-Niners Saturday night. So hopefully you guys are still feeling the the energy of the first Bronco preseason game, the first real Bronco action of this new, what's it been, 7 months, whatever it's been, and are willing to stay up a little bit late with you football priests. We'll be here for you.
Have a great start to your weekend. We will see you Saturday night. Take care. And as always, go Broncos.